Hi everybody. Today on the first 10 minutes, we'll explore whether Darius and Nidalee can kill a man whose right arm is stronger than his left arm. So in this game, I'm playing Nidalee, and I'm playing top. Someone else called mid, and I was just like, okay, I'll fill. And then as it happens, top is free. So I decided to play top, and I know Nidalee has played top, so I was like, well, I'll just do that. And my team started freaking out because they're like, we need a tank, we need a tank. They're like, please play Nasus. Like, you just play whatever anyone suggests. Anyway, but I was like, okay, well, I'm going to play Nidalee top anyway. And then I sort of told the truth and sort of lied, which is I said I'm not very good at tanks, which is somewhat true, but I'm okay at tanks. Anyway, so I'm hitting here. Darius is going to he's going to start here, but we see there's an invade going on in the bot. Now, so we don't see them yet. Like someone flagged that it was going on, but we actually haven't seen it, and now we see it. And a problem here for me, we all start hitting bot because there's a rumble going on, but I had leveled up my heal as opposed to my spear, so I'm actually really, really ill-equipped. In fact, I even come in really late to the party. I'm really, really ill-equipped for this fight, and that's kind of the reason why I had leveled heal was because I knew I was going to be laning against Tryndamere. And so I didn't really know how the matchup was going to go, so I figured, well, I won't need my spear till level 2 at least. And so this fight just keeps on going, Uyghur gets a kill, I get an assist, which is nice. And then even more, like there's just so many people. And so I do a flash, which maybe wasn't necessary because they were running, but I thought it was necessary. Now meanwhile, Tryndamere is up here. He's up here laning, killing stuff, and I'm on my way. But going back to what I was saying is that I shouldn't have leveled my heal until I needed it. And I was going to heal. I was like, well, I'm going to lane against Tryndamere. I should have a heal for safety. I'm going to help jungler Darius start the blue so I can heal him and increase his auto attacks. And then I was like, no problem. So I leveled heal, which is actually really unusual for me because normally with Nidalee I level spear. But I basically should have waited until I needed it, which is I should have waited until Darius started fighting the blue buff, and then I could have leveled my heal. And in that case, when the fight broke out, I would have leveled my spear. We might have actually gotten more kills. So good thing to know is like if you have if you don't normally level like ability for team fighting level 1, then you should basically hold off and level your ability right before you need it, so that in case a team fight breaks out at level 1 and invade, you're ready for it. Anyway, classic trouble with Nidalee here, where the lane is pushing. You can see our jungler, who was playing really well, he came up, but I actually had to back off. And I had to back off because the minion wave was so huge, and I was out of mana. However, he does get the flash out of Tryndamere, so that's pretty good. And that'll come into play a little bit later. So Tryndamere's flash is going to be down for quite a few minutes. But if we go back a few seconds. So look at this huge minion wave. So I'm like really don't have good mana. So like I actually started to come in for the gank, and then I just had to go because look at the minions just pounding on me, healing myself. I was indecisive there. Maybe what I could have done is I could have thrown a spear just to do some damage to Tryndamere because we kind of knew what brush he was in, or kind of knew where he was standing, and then just back off. But instead, I'm basically completely out of that gank. But he did push Tryndamere out of lane briefly, and that'll actually come into play a little bit later because I'm actually going to hit some levels before Tryndamere. So let's speed it up here until we get to something good. Okay, so we're almost to a point here. I'm basically doing my best to last hit. And I'm trying to harass Tryndamere a little bit too, just because I outrange him. At level 6 is going to be really tough, but look how low my mana is. It's like, I maybe should have started, I probably should have started with a Crystalline Flask for this game. I hadn't really leveled against Tryndamere before. And he's actually going to hurt me here, I think. Nope, not yet. Because I went Doran's Ring, which gives me mana regeneration. I don't know. Doran's Ring is probably still a good idea. But the Doran Ring really is for jacking up my my spear, and I'm not really getting a lot of spears off on Tryndamere. So, but it's a good dueling item just in case the shit goes down. And I'm actually trying 8 ability power runes instead of penetration runes. So I'm going for more early game. Tryndamere gets in, and he actually does some good pain on me. I put a bear, he puts an ignite. And I actually survive, amazingly. And he actually survives too. If he actually went for the kill, he would have died as well from the turret shots. But I got so low. But one of the things is right before this fight started, he was kind of moving in closer, and I was low on mana, and I used my spear to farm a minion. And I should have just saved it for a heal and just been auto-attacking the farm minions. And not knowing Wukong as I ran quite a ways away in order to base. Alright, let's pick up the speed here. Okay, so now I have my mana, which is good. I have the... and here we have the gank. So the question is, can we kill Tryndamere? Now, Tryndamere has no flash, which is really, really good. Alright, so let's look at the math. So Tryndamere is level 6. This is a difficult gank because Tryndamere, when he activates his ultimate, can turn invulnerable for 5 seconds. So this is sort of like a gank where it's like, well, he's really, really hard to get a kill. But at the very least, if it goes really well, he has to leave lane because he'll be so low health. After he does his ultimate, he can do a small self-heal, but it'll only give him like 100 hit points. So most Tryndamers wait till they're very low for the ultimate. So after that, although he'll have a few hit points, he won't want to stick around and fight because basically we could just breathe on him and he would die. So this is all assuming that he runs, of course, which he will. Now in this case, this spreadsheet has a limitation in that the same penetration for armor magic is applied to the whole spreadsheet, but actually Darius and Nidalee have different values, different numbers. So in this case, the armor is Darius's since he does most of the physical damage. He has a 5 penetration. He ignores 5% of the target armor, but that doesn't feature into this spreadsheet. That's just the passive of one of his abilities. And then Nidalee has 6. I have 6% magic penetration. And if I if I hit him with a bushwhack, then we'll both get a jack in penetration. Jack it up. So Darius is level 4. The breakdown of Darius' abilities is that he has a Crippling Strike, which his next auto attack does 120% more damage. So you see it does a little bit more. In addition, it slows the target to keep him from running away. He has a Spinning Slash that does 117 physical damage, but if they're on the outer edge, it does 1.5 times that much, so it's about 175 damage. And anytime he does damage at all, he puts a damage over time bleed on the target, and that'll do 20 magic damage. And it'll go for, it can stack up to 5 times. So as long as, if this fight gets drawn out, like in this example, where it basically says he'll get 4 auto attacks and then 2 decimates, so 6 abilities. Stretched out, that basically means that this will happen 6 times. If it all happened in a really compressed time, it can only happen 5 because there's a max to how much it can stack. And right now this is using Nidalee's magic penetration, but it's okay. For Nidalee's level 5. Auto attacks, Javelin Tosh, as we've talked in previous videos, does different damage based on how far the javelin travels. And then Bushwhack, if it hits, putting the trap underneath them, it triggers them. They take some damage over time. They get revealed, and then they take the reduced armor. So, very simply, Tryndamere is at about 780 health out of 1200. Very simply is if this, now this is putting most of the burden on Darius because I love to make junglers work. So assuming that Darius does all the work, this is pretty good. Like, we're actually, it's pretty close to killing him. Now, remember, he'll probably throw his ultimate. As it happens, in this fight, I actually don't hit. I hit a little bit less, like less than half range. It does about that much damage. You can see that wouldn't kill him. So this is a very, very close kill if we can get close to killing him. And let's see, Darius, did he do this? Our Darius was very good, so he was actually did great at getting 2 decimates off on the outer edge. And he did end up having about 6 hemorrhages going. So you can see this is actually a really, really close fight. Now Tryndamere, he can turn invulnerable, but it's pretty good. Now in this, I assume I don't hit with a bushwhack. If I did, that would also turn the fight. In addition to the extra bushwhack damage, this would be higher. These would be an extra 20% reduction, so it actually jacked it up quite a bit. So the bushwhack could be very valuable. The bushwhack is difficult though because it's you put down the trap and then there's a delay. So it's but the armor penetration would make a big difference, and the magic penetration would make a big difference. In addition, if I was able to hit with a longer range spear, make a big, big difference. This is actually very, very close. Let's take a look and see what happens. So here we go. We'll focus the camera on Tryndamere. So Tryndamere's hiding in the brush. We actually can't see him at the moment. I throw down a bushwhack to get vision. However, that bushwhack, I just threw it down to get vision. I did not throw it down to damage. And so I should have thrown it down to damages. And I should have basically put it in a location that Tryndamere would have to run through, hoping to do that extra armor penetration on him. I accidentally canceled an auto attack. Darius was doing great. He was really beating on Tryndamere. I accidentally missed, well, actually that one I actually would have hit Tryndamere, but he pulled Tryndamere outside from under my mouse cursor, so I auto-attacked a target. And then right here I threw a spear, but look how short, actually that's not it there. That was an auto-attack. So I've done 2 auto-attacks, but here's a spear, but look how close I was to him. It did about 200 points of damage. And now Tryndamere has turned invulnerable. But he did take the damage from the spear, which means that he didn't turn invulnerable before the spear hit him. He was probably waiting for it. But he turned invulnerable. Darius backed away because Tryndamere's under his tower. So this actually totally could have been our kill. And there's a couple things I should have done. One is put the bushwhack down where I think Tryndamere has to run to. That would I will get the vision. Hopefully he would have hit him. It may not, so that's still a gamble. So maybe that won't happen. The other is I had plenty of mana. I should have done a primal surge, which is a heal on Darius. And if I do the heal on Darius, it'll give him an attack speed buff. And it's only a little bit, but he might have been able to get off 1 extra attack. And Tryndamere's doing some push-ups now. Happy to survive. And the other thing is that Tryndamere was getting close to his tower, I should have just let him get his space, because the more my spear travels, the more damage it does. And so I really didn't have a benefit of being that close. I mean, the spear can hit, more likely, but he was so close that if I had just let the spear travel longer, maybe he was doing his ultimate in response to seeing the spear animation, so maybe the longer travel time, he would have had time to do his ult, and he would have become invulnerable. But we didn't get the kill. So I should have given him more space to do more damage. I mean, I did less than a half-range spear. It only did 200, and at the max, it could have done about 440. So, and he got away with about 100 health. So basically, letting that spear travel a little bit farther, not missing that 1 auto attack because I accidentally canceled an auto attack. Basically, I was trying to keep up with him, but in the end, since the spear was my execute in this case, I really should have let him get some distance to me and not try to be so intent on keeping up to him with auto attacks. Let's go here. So in the end, I'm now a cat. in the end, I didn't get a kill. When he tried to kill me, he didn't get a kill. And then we basically farmed. We actually ended this 10 minutes with pretty close farm. Tryndamere did start getting a little dangerous. Their jungler came up to gank a few times, and I got away a few times, and then finally Tryndamere started snowballing a little bit. In the end, we actually beat them, though. Even though Tryndamere was getting pretty big, it was actually a very, very fun and very good game. So anyway, that was this 10 minutes. I hope you guys found it educational. I feel like one of the big lessons from it is learning to withhold important abilities until they're at their maximum potential, like in the case of the spear, the longer distance. But also recognize that a lot of the dueling and the fighting in these games is based on letting them play their cards first. There's the first game that got away. So anyway, I will see you all on the Rift. And if you like this video, please like it. If you really like it, please subscribe. And I will catch you later.